And when I look at what cancer has taught me, if I may, for a moment,
please go open. Yeah.
It's taught me a lot of things. It's taught me how to be curious instead of afraid. It's taught me how to be kind instead of angry. It's taught me how to be strong instead of having self-pity. It's taught me how to love myself rather than feel unworthy. It's taught me how to stand up for myself instead of waiting for someone else to do it. It's taught me how to release and let go of things that no longer serve me. And it's reminded me how beautiful the world is and how amazing people can be. And it reminds me that whatever I give out, I get back tenfold. And part of the reason why I say that is, to some extent, I believe we have the ability to, I do believe we have the ability to shape the closing of our life as we know it, our last breath, the light going out, however you want to call it, the passing on. And to your point earlier about the ability to sit in silence, I love silence. I love being in nature, even though it's not silent, because you can hear a cacophony of leaves and wind and birds and trees and animals. It's, as much as we want to say nature is silent, it's a whole other world. But I remember one time I was sitting and I thought, wow. And so many of my friends kept asking me, what do you want? What can I do? What can I do? And that's overwhelming. And sometimes I ask people for things and it's just too much for them to do, or they get bored of going grocery shopping for me, or they don't really want to help with my laundry, even though that would be tremendously helpful for me. So in one of my quiet moments, I envisioned a ceiling, and on it hanging down, I thought of, for some reason, butterflies and stars. And I thought of butterflies because I love butterflies beyond the metamorphosis of what a butterfly goes through. I believe in the butterfly effect. One small movement here can have an impact around the world. I have seen it. I believe it. So I've always loved butterflies more for that effect than for the metamorphosis. The reason why I love stars is because even in the darkness, you can see the stars. And so knowing that I can't hear what people will say about me after I leave, provided there's a service, and I hope there's a heck of a party, because I want it to be a celebration of life, I thought, what if I asked people to send me just a few words about our friendship or something they remember or anything about us or me, and they put it in the form of a star or a butterfly. And so I sent that out about 2 weeks ago, and every day it is astounding. I get a package, I get a card. I am getting some of the most amazing, fun, creative expressions. And that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted that person's expression of themselves. And one of my friends who claims he is a statistician, he doesn't just claim, he is a statistician. And he says he's not very artistic. He put together a star, and we had spent several years together. He worked for the Cardinals and I was in another job, but we would go to events, the same events in town, because I was pretty heavily involved in a lot of boards. And our way of getting out our frustration was to hit golf balls together. So we had this routine where we would hit golf balls and then we'd play for a hamburger or a martini or whatever. We'd play silly games, whoever came closest to the pin or whoever came closest to the flag. So he put together the star, and it was all of our favorite obscure places in St. Louis that we used to go together, including the golf range. And it was so perfectly put together by a man who claims he is not artistic. it is incredible. I had another friend who went to Sedona, who knows how much I love Sedona, and he brought back a heart-shaped red rock and hung it from fishing wire. And he said, it's not exactly an origami, but it's a heart, and it's a reflection of things that remind me of you. So I have been getting the most amazing, creative, heartfelt, playful. I have friends who have artists who have made art that is just astounding. I have friends who have no artistic ability who have made me the most pleasurable, joyful, simple things that you might expect from a second or third grader, but it came from them and from their heart, and it's going to proudly be hung. And with this, I am receiving some of the most amazing notes that are just incredible. So I guess in a long roundabout way, I've learned a lot from cancer. I've learned so much from cancer. And I think the important thing is to be inclusive, because cancer scares the heck out of people. We don't know how to grieve very well in our society. And I will flat out ask my friends, how are you doing with this? How are you doing with watching my body as it degrades? And they've never had frank conversations. And we'll talk about grief. And I'm not afraid to go to the difficult places, as long as people know it's in love. And I think it's wrong to go to a difficult place when there's anger and tension and resentment. That's such a disservice. I think the way to go to difficult places is to start out, for me, I say, I love you. I value you so much. I want to hear what you feel comfortable sharing with me. And if that means nothing, I'm okay with that. And if it means you have to take a couple days or weeks to even come around to what it is that you can even say to me, I'm okay with that. But I just want them to know that it's from a place of love that they can share. And that's the most important part. So again, it comes back to love.